And GMHL and Bradford Rattlers and Wasaga River Dragons fans, we are live here at the BWG Leisure Center in Bradford for this meeting between the visiting Wasaga River Dragons and the home Bradford Rattlers. Both teams come into this one with 8 wins on the season, the Rattlers with 3 losses, Wasaga with just a single loss on the season. As we have Victor Friedeke and Adam DeBrecki with the opening draw. Friedeke's going to take that one and win it back. Sanders pressured heavily by Carlson there, and the Rattlers forced the turnover and send it towards the net by Ovakimian. Not able to get it on, as the Rattlers looking to maintain pressure. Wasaga looking to get it out of the zone. Bolatov sends it towards the slot area. Picked off. Rooney's going to bring it now. Sends it deep, icing waved off. Patrick Cullen plays it behind the net, sends it up towards Carlson. Picked off by number 88 there. And it's going to come all the way into the zone. DeBrecki leaves it behind in the corner for Carlson, who makes a quick spin move. Wasaga looking to seal off DeBrecki on that chance. Friedeke gets it out, and they're looking to stretch it out of the zone, and they do. Stamen, number 88, sees Victor Friedeke, who gets a shot off on Cullen. Cullen gloves that, and we'll have our first stoppage of play in the period. Obviously, this game, third match of the season between the teams, which is a rematch of last year's North Division Finals. Wasaga has taken both of the games so far, which have both been in Wasaga. The first time the River Dragons are traveling to Bradford to take on the Rattlers on home ice here. As Mamedov on that second line with Serev. And Plotnikov back in the lineup. It's been a while since we saw him in home ice. Mamedov brings it in on the wing. Gets it, nice pass to Serev, who got it just in, but Brody Pritchard, the goaltender for Wasaga, makes that save. Cullen and Pritchard, the goaltenders tonight. Pritchard comes in with 7-0. He has not taken a loss all season. He's got a 2.14 GAA with a 9.45 save percentage. One of the top goalies in the league. In the power rankings, I believe he was number 1 through the first player power rankings for goaltenders. As Serev gets it deep in the zone, Mamedov tries to get a shot off, but it goes just wide of Pritchard. Serev sends it back. Mamedov pressuring on Sanders there, number 12. Puck comes free. Wasaga looking to get it out of their zone, and they do. Into the stick of Boravsky, but he leaves it for number 9 on the River Dragons. That's Alexander Seletsky. No name on the back of his jersey, but that is Seletsky, number 9. Orahov sends it up. We've got Oliver Koch, David Majorsick, and Brian Kopech on the ice for the Rattlers right now. Comes back to Vadim Berezin, who holds the line and sends it back down low to Koch, where he's pressured heavily by Wasaga. Kopech comes up with it, tries to leave it for Koch, and does, who sends it back up to Caleb Siran. Siran sends it back deep. Wasaga pressuring on it and gets it out of the zone, as Rickabaugh sends it towards Patrick Cullen. Patrick Cullen on the other end, opposite Brody Pritchard, comes into the game with a 5-3-0 record with a 2.40 and a 9.18 save percentage. Kudakov on the draw against Rooney, wins it back to Arsenio Vakimian. Samarovsky gets it out of the zone, or attempts, but is unable. Ovakimian slows it down and sends it over to his partner Munitz, who puts it into the middle somewhat blindly and is picked off by Wasaga. Rattlers get it right back and send it deep towards Pritchard, who plays it. Holander on that pressure, and he is there. Kudakov also in the corner. Holander comes out, tries to send it, but Samarovsky's sent down to the ice and is unable to make a play, and Wasaga comes the other way. A near errant pass for Wasaga, but it ends up as a tip opportunity in front of Cullen, who makes that save. Puck misses the netting. Ovakimian sends it up to Samarovsky, who's got Holander in the middle. Holander brings it through and is stopped by number 22 on Wasaga. That's Liam Chenaui. Matvey Munitz now, newly named Rattlers assistant captain. Gets it up to Debrecki. Debrecki, Carlson, and Bolotov on the ice now. Carlson has it, loses it just in front of Pritchard. Debrecki picks it back up. Munit sends it towards the ice. It rattles around and goes towards Pritchard. Carlson gets knocked down in front of the net. Wasaga gains possession, and the Rattlers take it right back as Munitz look towards his partner right now, Roman Orahov, also named a Rattlers assistant captain this week, with Isak Carlson being named the captain of the Bradford Rattlers. Orahov plays it on the wall. He's got Bolotov with him. Stretches it towards Debrecki's area, and he's going to be able to make it to that puck. Icing waved off, sends it back towards Carlson, and sends a shot towards Pritchard, who makes that save. Wasaga now with a 3-on-2 opportunity. Bolotov coming back hard. Debrecki and Carlson in the middle. Carlson tries to leave it for Debrecki, but it gets picked off by Wasaga. A drop pass to number 17. That's Hugo Olsen. Debrecki sends it deep, and they're going to get a change. Carlson is still pursuing. Gets tied up in there. Olsen down there. Number 22, Shenawai, also down there. Roman Orahov being pressured by number 27. That's Hallett, Nicholas Hallett. Mamedov on the ice looking to bring it up into the center. Sends it over to his winger, Sergei Sarev. Sarev hit hard on the wall. Still pursuing that puck behind the Wasaga River Dragons net. Wasaga sends it over to the far side, brings it in, sends it towards Cullen, but it's tipped into the corner. Hard play on it. Mamedov attempting to make a play out of the zone, unable to. And so Camp is in there, and he is able to get Wasaga River Dragons on the board first. Camp brought it in and sent it over towards number 26 on the Wasaga River Dragons. That is Josh Brown, who nets his first goal of the season. That is Josh Brown from Brad Camp. And Koch on the draw wins it back towards Munitz. River Dragons now up 1-0. And just like we saw, that was Brown from Camp on the goal, confirmed. Brian Kopech looking to make something happen in the corner now. Majorsic also down there. Wasaga unable to get it out of the zone as Borowski holds it. Scrum along the sideboard there. Physical play by Kopech inside the middle of the dot. And it comes over to this left circle. Munitz has it, and he walks in. Sends it towards the net, but that's going to be saved by Pritchard and sent towards the netting as we'll have a face-off in the offensive zone. Nope, it is actually going to be coming out to the neutral zone. Referees both agreeing it'll be on the Wasaga neutral zone side dot. The Carlson, Dobrecki, Bolotov line on the ice now with Friedeke, Rooney, and number 88, Elliot Stahman, the leading scorer for the Wasaga River Dragons with 16 points in 9 games so far. Orahov loses the puck there. Wasaga hoping to capitalize with a shot towards Cullen, which he sends away. Hit from Bolotov there. Got that high energy play, and now Bolotov will be rushing towards the puck on the far side. Icing's going to be called. Debrecki against Friedeke once more. What seems to be both teams' top lines right now. Munitz handles it behind the net. Bolotov loses his footing and is unable to make it to the wall as Kalinke sends it back in deep. Roman Orahov now handling it. Pressured hard, but Munich picks it up in their own zone and is going to bring it all the way into the offensive zone. Sends it towards Debrecki, but goes off a skate. Eventually, Rooney comes up with it and sends it towards the defenseman, number 22, out there. Hugo Olsen sends it deep into the zone. It's going to be played by Arsenio Vakimian. Olsen has a play on it once more, and it looks like he will get a stick on it. Isak Carlson also playing, attempting to get it into the middle. Zone still held by Wasaga. A great play by Olsen there. And DeBrecky's got an opportunity here. The puck goes right into the glove of Brody Pritchard. DeBrecky goes hard into the boards, but he's right back up. Krudikov now on the draw against Camp. Camp with that assist on the only goal of the period so far. 12:36 left in the period. Wasaga is able to get it out of the zone. And we have a pressuring number 27, that's Hallett, on the ice, who's looking for any of his teammates in that corner. Instead, Barrison's going to come up with it. Comes right in front of the net, and that's a very dangerous opportunity for the Wasaga River Dragons. Eventually into the corner on the bottom. We have Krudikov battling in front. Svedolf attempting to just get the puck out of the zone right now. Krudikov eventually comes up with it. Possibly looking towards Siran. And we do have penalties on the ice. It looks like number 27, Hallett's heading inside for high sticking. And a slash on number 12, Vadim Berezin. So we're going to be 4-on-4 right now as each team takes minor penalties. Both teams attempting to send out 5 there, but it is indeed 4-on-4 hockey here. Draw one back by Wasaga, who eventually finds Elliot Stammen. Dangerous there, but unable to get a shot off as Dominikas Boravsky sends it to Plotnikov. Boravsky driving the net. Dangerous opportunity. High leverage opportunity for the Rattlers as Plotnikov saw Boravsky, but it goes into the padding of Pritchard instead. Mamedov on the draw now against Friedeke. Boravsky unable to hold the zone, and so it's going to come back into the neutral zone. Leaves it for Mamedov, who sees number 25, Plotnikov, brings it into the middle, attempting to get a shot off, misses the net high. Mamedov still pressuring. Boravsky playing defense on Friedeke and disallows him from gaining the red line there. Boravsky sends it back to Orahov. Orahov to Plotnikov. He's got Mamedov with him, 4-on-4 hockey, 2 forwards, 2 defensemen aside. Mamedov bringing it behind the net. Takes a big hit, but is still up, pressuring on the puck. Almost able to come away with it, but instead number 5 for the River Dragons, that's Eastwood, comes away with it and brings it all the way up and sends it deep towards Patrick Cullen. Roman Orahov plays it on the wall, gets it out of the zone and sends it towards number 8, Adam DeBrecki. DeBrecki finds Boravsky. DeBrecki and Carlson now on the ice for the Rattlers. DeBrecki with a nifty move to get it out of the zone. Boravsky finds Carlson. Carlson in with DeBrecki and Boravsky. Boravsky sends it towards the net. That's going to be blockered aside by Brody Pritchard. And Boravsky with a dangerous hold here, but it works out for him as he holds the puck and Carlson comes away with it. Carlson entering into the zone. Tries to fire it short side on Brody Pritchard, but Pritchard makes that save. Orahov holds the zone once more, but Wasaga picks it up and immediately is on the rush. Sends it deep, possibly looking for a change here. Played behind the net, Orahov and Boravsky both there, but instead, number 13, Rooney comes up with it for the River Dragons and immediately turns it over. Carlson now, Rooney with that heavy pressure there, almost causes a turnover on Carlson. Carlson brings it into the zone, he's got DeBrecki on his backside. Carlson goes down, no call on the play. The River Dragons are going to come the other way. Rooney has it on his stick right now, he's got number 9 with him. That is Seletsky. Major stick going to come as they clear the zone, able to bring it in. 5-on-5 hockey now. Carlson in front, finds DeBrecki, who doesn't see that the puck is right in his feet. Pritchard jumps all over that to get the stoppage here at 9:36 of the first period. Moila, Lunama on the ice now. Chenaway. Majorsic playing it back, sends it all the way up to Brian Kopech. Kopech not able to gain the zone. He's going to have to regroup. He sends it deep. Majorsic going to be pursuing. Pass made up and eventually finds the stick of Arsenio Vakimian, who stops that pressure from the Wasaga River Dragons. Koch sends it towards the net, and it's softly sent aside by Brody Pritchard. Koch finds his own rebound and is playing it behind the net, sends it up to Berezin, who can't get a strong enough shot to get through the bodies by Wasaga. Wasaga comes the other way now. Rickabaugh, Gulick, Koch forces the turnover, sends it into the zone where Kopech is going to be pursuing. Sanders brings it out of the ice now. Mamedov on Eastwood. Eastwood sends it deep. Possibly into the benches, but it does stay on the ice surface, so we are going to still play. Friedeke with Mamedov pressuring him right there. Sanders sends it deep. Rooney is going to pursue with Stamen and Friedeke. This top line for the Wasaga River Dragons out here now. River Dragons currently up 1-0 in this game. Would love to make it 2 as Eastwood has it at the point, sends it towards Patrick Cullen, but is blocked in front of the net. Friedeke was looking for somebody in the slot area, but nobody was there. But we are going to have a hold by Sanders and Rooney. Rooney finds Stamen, who looks for Friedeke, but instead Plotnikov comes up with it. He's got Sarev with him. Mamedov as the trailer, who now goes off for a change. Sarev deep into the zone, takes a hard hit by number 13. That's Rooney. And Krudikov pursuing on Stamen now. River Dragons trying to get it out of their zone so they can get another opportunity in the Rattlers' end and try and put this to a 2-0 lead. Holander playing some very, very tight presence offensively as a two-way forward right now. Samarovsky on the back end with Stamen in the middle. He finds Friedeke. Orahov gives him a bump and he goes down, changing possession. Krudikov sends it back towards Orahov's way. It's Friedeke, Orahov, and Holander all on the ice. Boravsky behind the net now. Eventually the Rattlers get it out of the zone. That's Seletsky. Seletsky looking to get a shot. Patrick Cullen sends it away, but we are going to get a call on the ice. And it's going to be a hooking call on number 55, Dominikas Boravsky. So we'll see our first true power play of the game. The Wasaga River Dragons sending out Rickabaugh, Lindholm, Gulick, Rooney, and number 9, that's Seletsky. On the PK for the Rattlers is Carlson, Debrecki, Munitz, and Arsenio Vakimian. Should be noted that the top 2 shorthanded goal scorers in the league right now are Debrecki and Carlson, with 5 goals shorthanded for Carlson, 2 in the last game, and 4 for Adam Debrecki. Wasaga hoping to eliminate that opportunity and get a power play goal on the board instead. Debrecki forces it out. Carlson's going to handle it for a second before he sends it deep. He finds Debrecki, who is in all alone. Debrecki sends it in, and that's a shorthanded goal. So like I mentioned, you have the 2 most dangerous penalty killers on the ice when it comes to putting shorthanded goals on the board. And Carlson finds Debrecki, and now they both have 5 shorthanded goals on the season. 5 apiece. 1-1 Bradford and Wasaga. Wasaga still has 1:42 left on this power play with 6:29 left in the game. Debrecki and Olsen on the draw against each other. Olsen wins it back to Stamen. Number 22, Chenuai, also on the ice, brings it into the zone. Arsenio Vakimian's going to have a play on it, but he's going to have to get it out deep. Instead puts it into the back of the net, finds Carlson, who's going to try and send it down. Unable to, Debrecki on him, and it does eventually come out of the zone, so the River Dragons will have to regroup. Stamen has it and sends it deep. Cullen slows it down, Arsenio Vakimian comes in. But Seletsky makes a great play there to force the turnover. Olesen has it, sends it down to Friedeke. Friedeke looking for options, finds Seletsky. Patrick Cullen makes the save. It is loose, Isak Karlsson going to have to try and get it out. Sends it deep down low, which is probably smart because Elliot Salmon was waiting on the boards there. Seletsky leaves it for Friedeke. Friedeke's got Olesen all alone in front. Looks like the Rattlers are going to be taking another penalty here. And Friedeke with a wide open net, unable to put it past Cullen as the extra attacker's on the ice. And for at least 36 seconds on this hooking call, the Rattlers are going to be down to 3 men on the ice. Rattlers will send out Bolotov as the lone forward here on this 5-on-3 power play for the Wasaga River Dragons, with Orahov and Caleb Syran, Stamen, Seletsky, Olsen, Friedeke, and Chenowai all on the power play here. And it's one back, but the River Dragons are unable to hold the zone. So Stamen's going to regroup behind his own net here as they look to regain the lead on this power play opportunity. 25 seconds left on the 5-on-3 before the Rattlers gain at least one man back. Seletsky sees Stamen. Stamen's got eyes on the net. Could be looking to shoot. Seletsky, as they inch closer and closer right now, as they make those passes between Stamen and Seletsky, tightening up the box right now. Sends it towards the stick of Friedeke, who's unable to put it past Patrick Cullen. Olesen now in net. Friedeke Cullen finds it. Dangerous opportunity there. Bolotov pressuring Stamen very hard, and eventually the puck goes down towards Brody Pritchard as we get our 4th man out of the box for the Bradford Rattlers. Still a minute 6 left for the Wasaga River Dragons power play. Number 91 for the River Dragons takes it out. That's Gulick. Majorsic with some pressure on there, and they're going to have an opportunity the other way. Majorsic and Debrecki. Debrecki already with a shorthanded goal in this period. Almost another one there. And we do have a call coming on the back end. It's a hooking call. Debrecki goes down on that shot opportunity. Wasn't a breakaway, so no penalty shot. But we are now going to be 4-on-4 on the hooking call, and it looks like it's going to be number 8 heading to the box. Number 8, that's Max Lindholm. With the hooking call, as he attempted to prevent a second shorthanded goal in this period by Adam Debrecki. Stamen, Friedeke on the ice now. Chenowai also out there, and number 18. That's Louis Kalinke. Serev and Mamedov, the 2 forwards with Boravsky and Orahov for the Rattlers. Mamedov pressuring hard. He has Boravsky on that same side wall. Instead elects to bring it to the middle. Looking for some options. He's got Orahov on his backside. Brings it all the way to the middle. Gets a shot off, but unable to get past Brody Pritchard. Serev now pressuring hard on number 18. But instead Kalinke's going to slow it down, bring it into the neutral zone himself. Sends it deep. Played by Cullen. Cullen's got Boravsky there, who brings it back around the other side of the net. Brings it out of the zone himself. Serev goes off for a change, so Boravsky going to be joined by Debrecki and Karlsson now as Mamedov and Serev both go off. Debrecki sees nobody there, but the Rattlers are now on a power play for the next 1 minute 5 seconds. So the Rattlers have that top power play unit out now. Plotnikov, Debrecki, Karlsson. Munitz is out there as well. Koch is the last forward. 4 forwards, 1 defenseman on this power play for the Bradford Rattlers. Karlsson on the half wall. Sends it back up towards for Munitz. He's going to walk the line. Bring it towards the middle. Send it back down low to Debrecki. Munitz calls for it once more. Sends it towards the net. That shot had an opportunity, but Brody Pritchard sends it away. Munitz now is going to make the switch and come towards the wall side. Sends it down low to Mikhail Plotnikov. Karlsson, no chance there. Brings it down low. Sends it towards Munitz, who just misses the net on an opportunity that Pritchard would have had to make a big save for. Karlsson sees Munitz. Munitz looking towards the net once more. Goes down low to Misha Plotnikov. Back up to Munitz. Munitz sees Debrecki. Karlsson there, unable to handle it cleanly, so no shot there. Munitz finds Debrecki. Debrecki sends it. And Misha Plotnikov gets the tip on that. And it looked like the River Dragons had just gotten their player off the ice, so that is going to be an even strength goal for Mikhail Plotnikov, number 25 for the Bradford Rattlers, who are now up 2-1 in this game with 2 minutes left in this first period. Krudikov on the draw, wins it over towards the side where Ovakimian steps up to play it. And they are going to count it as a power play goal. Not sure how much time was left on there. Seletsky brings it into the zone. Dangerous, looking to have an opportunity right here. But that's going to be stifled by Boravsky, sorry. Boravsky finds Krudikov. Krudikov with Kopech here. Sends it up. Krudikov playing it hard in there and comes away with possession. Kopech sends it towards Majorsic, unable to handle it and get a shot off towards Pritchard. Zone has not been left yet by the puck, so the Rattlers still have an opportunity in the zone, but Lindholm's going to bring it out. David Majorsic is down on the ice right now, and we get the call down. Very likely going to see the Rattlers trainer Tracy come onto the ice to check on number 68, David Majorsic. Didn't see exactly what happened on the back end there, but there is no call. One minute 12 left to play in here in this first period. Majorsic possibly pointing towards his midsection there. You'd hate to see something in the ribs area of a player. And claps all around for David Majorsic as he eventually makes his way to his knees and his feet to skate off the ice unassisted here. Still grabbing that midsection on the right side there. We're going to have a face-off in the offensive side neutral zone for the Rattlers. Debrecki against Friedeke here. Debrecki wins it back to Roman Orahov, who finds Matvei Munitz. Sends it deep, knowing that he's got Isak Karlsson on the other side, who comes away with it. Karlsson and Debrecki connect on a pass there. Bolotov sends it towards the net. Pritchard makes a save. Wasn't sure exactly where it was, but he comes away with the save anyway. Orahov's going to step up on Stahman here to stop it, and he does stop it from exiting the zone momentarily. Friedeke eventually comes up with it, and he's going to come in there with Stahman and Rooney with him. Rooney holds the zone for the River Dragons after a poke away by the Rattlers defenseman. Friedeke wins the battle against Munitz behind the net and comes away with possession. 30 seconds left in this one. Eastwood sends it towards Cullen, who leaves a rebound in front for Friedeke, who jumps on it, and Cullen manages to make that save with his glove hand. Karlsson having some words as they go to the bench. A draw taken and won by the Rattlers. Arsenio Ovakimian sends it up towards Serev. Boravsky jumping in the play now as a defenseman. Ovakimian has Plotnikov with him now. Boravsky leaves it for Serev, unable, and he's going to find it right back on his own stick. Boravsky now sends it back towards Arsenio Ovakimian. 5 seconds left. They just don't want to have a shot on. Mamedov is going to hold it. And that is going to end this first period. Currently, the Bradford Rattlers up 2-1 on the visiting Wasaga River Dragons. We'll be back after the first intermission. We're back here live for the start of the second period. The Rattlers currently up 2-1 on the Wasaga River Dragons after the first period. Looks like the line of Carlson, DeBrecki, and Bolotov is going to be starting off at forward for the Rattlers, with Munitz and Ovakimian at the back end. Stamen out there with Friedeke and Rooney, the top line for the River Dragons. Sanders and Eastwood on the back end. The goalies remain the same, Pritchard and Cullen, as we drop the puck on period number 2. River Dragons win that back and try to send it. Instead, icing is called. Eastwood was looking for Friedeke, it looked like, and just sent it deep out of his reach. Draw now being taken deep in the Wasaga River Dragons zone. Munitz has it, walks in, sends a shot towards Pritchard, unable to get through the starting goaltender of the Wasaga River Dragons. Conversation happening in front of the net as it looked like DeBrecki was attempting to play a possible rebound, and the River Dragons did not appreciate that. DeBrecki wins it back to Munitz once more. Munitz walks it in deep, sends it over to the other side. Ovakimian's going to play it now, puts it back down low. DeBrecki playing. Eastwood eventually able to get it out of the zone. Bolotov is going to be back there with Ovakimian. Sends it over through the net to Ovakimian, who loses possession. Carlson and Rooney now playing it in the corner with each other. Carlson comes away with it, loses the puck. As Wasaga gets a quick change here. DeBrecki still on with Carlson and Bolotov. DeBrecki brings it all the way deep into the Wasaga zone, sends it off of Brody Pritchard, comes out in front, is going to be handled by Olesen. Olesen puts it towards Seletsky. Carlson now sends it towards the direction of DeBrecki, but it's going to be broken up by number 22 there. That's Chenowai. Orahov attempting to maintain possession here. Once again, puts it deep in front of the net. Boravsky regroups, finds Orahov. Orahov back to Boravsky. And now it's Sergei Serev coming in with speed. Chenowai makes a great play on Serev there. Plotnikov turns it back towards the net, gets a shot off on Pritchard. Mamedov finds the rebound and slams it around the net. Mamedov with a wraparound goal on number 33, Brody Pritchard. The Rattlers now up 3-1. Plotnikov with the shot. Mamedov with the recovery and just brings it all the way around before Pritchard's able to recover. 3-1 Rattlers. Draw one back by Koch. Caleb Siran playing it behind the net. He's got Majorsic on the far side wall. Kopak there who touches it, but before the red line, so that's possible icing. Waved off. Seletsky now playing it. Berezin gets beat by Gulick, but Siran where with the defensive protection. Majorsic leaves the puck for Koch, who finds it in the neutral zone on the wall. Takes a big hit, and that's going to be called a penalty right there. Looks like number 14, Elias Moyla, might be heading to the box. Moyla 2 minutes for hitting from behind, and the Rattlers head to the power play for the first full time this game. They had a partial power play earlier in the game and were able to capitalize with a power play goal. And now Plotnikov, Mamedov, DeBrecki, Carlson, and Munitz all on the ice, this top power play unit for the Bradford Rattlers. Friedeke on the draw against DeBrecki. They win it and send it all the way back down into the Rattlers zone, negating that offensive zone opportunity. Matvey Munitz handling it as he looks to open up and allow this breakout on the power play. Carlson sees Mamedov. Mamedov's got Plotnikov in the middle. He puts it deep. Debrecki on the far side now has Carlson, who once again puts it deep. Mamedov on the half wall, almost at the blue line actually. Plotnikov has Munitz. Munitz fakes a shot, brings it back down towards Carlson. Carlson attempts to make a pass across the zone, but does not. Held in by Munitz, though, on a clearing attempt by Wasaga. Mamedov sends it towards the net, looking for a second of the period, but unable to get it through the Wasaga River Dragons defenseman. Mamedov back down low to Carlson. Carlson's finding Munitz at the point. Munitz with a shot, gloved by Brody Pritchard. Same power play line on for the Rattlers, won by Debrecki to Carlson. Carlson's finding Munitz. Sends it over to Mamedov. Mamedov sees Carlson, who's streaking, sends it towards Pritchard, who allows a rebound to come eventually back out towards Munitz. He's got Mamedov again, but also Carlson on the far side. Misses on a pass, and that is going to come out of the zone with an opportunity for the River Dragons now shorthanded. Hallett brings it in. Sends it back towards Lindholm. Plotnikov playing him deep. Debrecki eventually picks it up. Debrecki makes a nice move, and Brody Pritchard with his stick able to negate a scoring opportunity there. Eastwood and Mamedov getting into it behind the net a little bit there. Both skate off. Rattlers for the last 30 seconds of this power play are going to have two defensemen back on the ice. That's Boravsky and Orahov, with Bolotov, Sarev, and Majorsic all on the ice together. River Dragons do a very good job of putting it deep. I'm going to take more time off of this Rattlers power play as only 25 seconds remain. 16 minutes left in the second period. Sergei Sarev sees Roman Orahov, who's got Bolotov. He's going to bring it into the zone, taking a look around him, but instead is going to send it deep around for Boravsky. Boravsky brings it behind the net, has Sarev. Sarev back down low to Boravsky. Boravsky's got Majorsic in the middle and Sarev. Sarev sends it to the net. And even though Pritchard was down, Stepan Bolotov unable to put the puck behind the Wasaga River Dragons netminder to make it a 4-1 lead. Great penalty kill by the Wasaga River Dragons there, negating every opportunity that the Bradford Rattlers had. Rattlers still have offensive zone chance now, and the River Dragons are going to come the other way with fresh legs. Friedeke and Stamen, two dangerous players on the Wasaga River Dragons. And just as dangerous as I said, Friedeke brings the River Dragons back within one. Just creates that space for a partial breakaway and puts it over the top shoulder of Patrick Cullen. River Dragons even it up there on that goal by Friedeke. Camp wins the draw back to Sanders. Sanders puts it into the neutral zone where the possession is changed. Philip Holander playing tight on Sanders. Eventually comes up with the puck in front of the net, sends it towards Brody Pritchard. Samarovsky also there on pressure. River Dragons bring it through the neutral zone the other way. As Camp playing it very, very hard. Patrick Cullen has to make a decision as he plays it in front of his own net. Camp holds the zone but loses his footing, but maintains pressure, not allowing the Rattlers to come the other way. Eventually Krudikov attempts to make a play on it, but he has a very good hip check put on him by number 12, Tristan Sanders. Shot on net by Samarovsky just goes wide. Sanders now trying to bring it in himself. Eventually sends it deep. Caleb Zyran unable to play it cleanly. He's going to turn it back around and come the other way. A good decision by Caleb Zyran there. Philip Holander on the ice brings it in. He's got Samarovsky in the middle as they both go into the referee and come down. Samarovsky with the puck. He's got Debrecki there, but nobody else. And Samarovsky gets sent into the side post. Both teams not happy with what happened there. Little bit of a change as Adam Debrecki fixes his helmet. We have Carlson out there with Bolotov and Koch. Koch is going to take the draw. Against number 17, that's Olsen. One back eventually by Wasaga. Matvey Munitz stops them from making a deep rush. Stepan Bolotov turns it the other way. He finds Isaac Carlson, who makes a nifty move, sends it towards Bolotov, just out of reach, unable to get a shot off on Brody Pritchard. Munitz is going to have to slow it down in his own end. Finds Carlson, who puts it into the zone. Oliver Koch pressuring. No clean possession had now as Koch eventually finds it on his stick. Carlson there with Olsen, playing him hard on the wall. Both teams attempting to come up with the puck here. Eventually, number 22, Chenowai does. Olsen leaves it for Lindholm, and eventually Olsen comes up with it himself, sends it towards Seletsky. And the Rattlers force the turnover there in their defensive zone. That's Lindholm, who strips Matvey Munitz of the puck. Seletsky playing hard on Munitz, comes away with it. And right into the glove of Patrick Cullen, starting that lineup for the Bradford Rattlers. And Arsenio Vakimian definitely going to get a cross-check and head to the box. I didn't see what happened beforehand, but Isak Carlson, the Rattlers captain, is also on the ground. Lindholm was the recipient of that cross-check by Arsenio Vakimian, so I didn't see what happened first. But it looks like Lindholm is also heading to the box for his role in what just happened. And they're both going to get cross-checking penalties, Lindholm and Arsenio Vakimian. Five on five here. Shot by Wasaga, sent towards Patrick Cullen, who sends that away. Sergei Serev towards the middle, where Dominikas Boravsky's waiting for it. Boravsky puts it deep into the zone and takes a hit on the boards. Gets right back up as Tristan Sanders leaves it for his Wasaga River Dragons teammates. Pressured hard by the Rattlers, who are trying to force an offensive zone turnover, and they do. Eventually onto the stick of Mamedov, who puts it just high of Brody Pritchard as he takes a hard hit in front of the net. Plotnikov in the corner now. Dances his way into the middle. Boravsky sends it towards Pritchard, who bobbles it for a second, but comes up with it in his glove. Change here for the River Dragons as Chenowai and Kalinke both come onto the ice. Sanders comes off, who's having an incredible game for the Wasaga River Dragons. Mamedov on the draw now against Friedeke. Friedeke wins it back, and it comes almost out of the zone. Eventually it does as Friedeke brings it out himself, turns it over to the Rattlers. Plotnikov with possession in the neutral zone, sees Orhov. Orhov got Serev. Serev coming in, hoping to get a shot off. Unable to, but Plotnikov with some pressure in that slot area. Boravsky sends it down low. Mamedov almost with it on his stick. Serev, Mamedov, and Plotnikov all in the same area of the ice right now. Stamen off his skates as he is still getting pressured by Plotnikov. Serev also down there. As Chenowai brings it over the red line, probably going to send it deep, brings it in the zone and does send it deep. Boravsky plays it behind, sends it on the wall where no Rattlers player is. Chenowai a great hold on the ice there for the River Dragons but the Rattlers are ultimately going to come up with possession here. Borawski towards the middle of the ice. Majorsic there, touches it up and sends it deep. No icing on the call here. And Brian Kopech with a great forecheck there. Still looking to come up with it are both teams, as eventually number 14, Moyla, comes up with it for the River Dragons and brings it all the way into the offensive zone. Cullen makes the save in his chest, drops it down, and eventually covers it. As Lindholm and Ovakimian make their way back to their respective benches as their time serving the penalties is over. Both now available for their coaching staffs to use. Coach Mooney and Coach Hogben down there making the decisions for their teams on the bench. And Patrick Cullen with a diving save, but the Rattlers are going to take a penalty on that. It looks like Caleb Cyran's going to get a cross-check on this one. In front of the net, Patrick Cullen with a diving save to stop that tying goal right there with 10:51 here left in the first period. But Caleb Cyran, in an attempt to get him out of that crease, hits him with a cross-check, and he's going to the box. Mishandle by the River Dragons is going to bring it out of the zone on this power play. Seletsky eventually brings it in. Stamen working his way towards the net, turns it back around, sends it towards Chenowai. He sends a puck off of the top glove of Patrick Cullen. Debrecki and Carlson on this shorthanded unit, both tied for the league lead with 5 shorthanded goals apiece now. Chenowai looking to make something happen on this power play for the River Dragons as eventually it comes out into the neutral zone and they're going to have to regroup. Stamen now. Back towards Lumana. Lumana bringing it in. Pressured at the blue line. Eventually Isak Carlson comes up with it and fires it all the way down the ice. Adam Debrecki looked like he might make a play on it, but instead he's going to get changed off for Bolotov. Bolotov and Carlson now the forwards on this penalty kill unit. 51 seconds left in the Wasaga River Dragons power play. Seletsky loses it for Lindholm. Lindholm attempts to find Rooney, but unable to. The puck sails towards the sideboards where it is now frozen up in the skates. Rooney comes away with it. Lindholm finds Lumana. Lumana with a possible shot opportunity and sends it past Patrick Cullen, who was screened in front of the net. We have ourselves a tie hockey game, 3-3. River Dragons asking for that puck as that is Nico Lunama's first goal of the year. 3-3 game here in Bradford. Wasaga take advantage on that power play there to tie up this game at 3 apiece with 9:21 left in the second period. Friedeke and Mamedov. Mamedov wins it back. Muniz is going to bring it over to the red line where he will immediately get hit. Plotnikov of Akimian attempting to send it back into the zone, but Wasaga trying to clear it. Mamedov with a great play and another great save brings it out of the zone as he looks to regroup. Sends it over to Arseny Ovakimian. Sergei Serev fires it all the way across the ice to Mikhail Plotnikov. Plotnikov sees Mamedov, who just misses that. Serev's going to attempt to play it behind the net. Makes a hit, but eventually Friedeke finds it on his stick. Friedeke and Rooney now with Stamen as the trailer. Patrick Cullen with a stick aside. River Dragons playing this high energy offense, trying to get as many shots as they can on Patrick Cullen. No touch in the offensive zone, so no offside there. Ovakimian still on the ice. Mamedov still on the ice. Munitz now, who deflects it off his skate into the zone. Holander pressuring now. That's number 22, Chenowai. And Lindholm unable to find his partner there. Olsen. But the River Dragons do keep it in. Olsen, Seletsky, Lindholm on the ice. Cole on the back end right now with Chenowai. Wasaga still with possession in the offensive zone. The puck has not left. Patrick Cullen with a little tap to Prudikov, who eventually gets it deep, and that is going to be a no icing call. Holander on the pressure right now. Holander finds it. Samarovsky now back to Holander. Holander back to Samarovsky, who's going to send it up to Orahov. Orahov to Boravsky, sends it towards the net. And that is going to be tipped in front by number 6, Adam Samarovsky. Shot by Dominikas Boravsky, tipped by Adam Samarovsky. A lot of skis. It's like a running Blue Mountain ski resort out here. A lot of skis on the ice. And that'll put the Rattlers back up 4-3 here in the second period with 7:22 left. Bolotov with the pressure after the Wasaga face-off win. Sends it back towards Roman Orahov. Finds Boravsky. Boravsky puts it off the wall towards where Isak Karlsson is. And it's going to go into the bench of the Bradford Rattlers. We now eventually see that top line for the Bradford Rattlers back together again. Debrecki, Bolotov, and Karlsson with Berezin and Siran on the back end here. Moyla wins the face-off draw. And somebody takes a tumble on the back end for the Wasaga River Dragons, and so the Rattlers are able to maintain possession here. Bolotov finds Debrecki, who puts it just off the post. Debrecki once again saves the puck from exiting, but Moyla's going to keep it from going deep and sends it into the neutral zone himself. Debrecki once again with it back in the defensive zone. Leaves it for Berezin, who finds Siran. He's got Bolotov on the wall, and he does touch it up for Bolotov. Karlsson pressuring now on Lanama. Battle in the corner here. Karlsson in deep there. Comes up onto the skate. Big hit on there on Rikabov by Stepan Bolotov, who finds his stick eventually. Debrecki going to bring it into the zone himself. He's got Karlsson on his wing, who he does find. But Chenowai makes a great play defensively to stall that opportunity for the Rattlers. Friedeke with Rooney right behind him. Friedeke once again just about gets himself fully free in front of the netminder, Patrick Cullen. Majorsic unable to bring it out of the zone. Friedeke and Rooney both right in front of Patrick Cullen with an attempt to get a shot off. As the puck goes all the way down the ice, icing is waved on. .5:34 left in the second period. Lunama comes onto the ice with Chenowai on the back end. Stamen, Rooney, and Friedeke. Top units for the Wasaga River Dragons. Debrecki, Karlsson. Debrecki, Majorsic, Kopech, as Debrecki makes the change now. Was unable to on the icing before. Koch and Ovakimian both come onto the ice. Stamen plays it for Chenowai. Koch with a great defensive play in the offensive zone. Rooney tries to send it on the other side of the red line, unable to. Kopech is now able to walk into the zone, get a shot off towards Pritchard, who makes the glove save, and we're going to get another draw. Davidov, Plotnikov, and Serev now on the ice. We have Camp, Lanama, Hallett also on the ice for the River Dragons. Sanders now is the final man, as the Wasaga River Dragons only had 4 players on the ice. 26, Josh Brown also on the ice for the River Dragons. That's going to complete that line. As Hallett attempts to find Brown. Instead, Serev's going to come the other way, send it into the offensive zone. Number 16, Camp, brings it into the offensive zone and is pressuring hard on Ovakimian. Cullen makes the eventual stop and covers it up for another faceoff. And Carlson, Debrecki, and Bolotov make their way onto the ice for the Bradford Rattlers, with Boravsky and Roman Orahov as their defensemen. Gulick tries to tie up on the draw there and come away with the win. Eventually, Isak Carlson sends it to the other side of the red line where it's handled by Tristan Sanders. Debrecki finds it once again in the middle. Boravsky looking for an option. Sends it all the way deep where Isak Carlson's waiting. He's got Debrecki who's streaking. He's got Bolotov in the middle. And Carlson takes that shot. And instead it's going to be gloved up by Brody Pritchard. Defensive zone win by the River Dragons as Lanama has it. Lanama finds Lindholm, who tries to put it deep, but it finds a weird corner on the ice. And so the Rattlers are able to come the other way. Bolotov puts it deep. Debrecki and Carlson both coming down low. Boravsky now jumps in down low as well. And that's going to touch up the netting. Debrecki wins the drawback, but it's not able to be handled by Boravsky, so Boravsky's going to lose possession as Friedeke comes in. Boravsky eventually finds the puck. Dangerous mistake there for Boravsky. River Dragons on the way, able to come away with it. 3:46 left in the second period. Pritchard plays it behind the net. Debrecki's going to be there. He leaves it for Orahov. Orahov sends it down to Debrecki. Debrecki's got Boravsky. He's got Bolotov. Great play there by who I believe was Sanders on the ice. No, that was Friedeke. Rooney now takes a big hit from Isak Carlson, last year's top defensive forward. Boravsky playing on Stallman. Going to have to make smart decisions here. Rooney with a free shot. And Rooney ties this game up at 4. Rooney received the drop pass from Stallman and put it just left side on Patrick Cullen. 4-4 here, 3 minutes left in the second period. Krudikov on the draw against Olsen, wins it back to Ovakimian. Ovakimian to Munitz, who finds Arseny Ovakimian once more. Touched up by Samarovsky. Krudikov now with possession. He's got Holander in front of the net. The puck not able to reach him. Munitz now with a shot towards Pritchard. Patted away. Krudikov and Holander pressuring down low. Lanama there, attempting to maintain possession for the Wasaga River Dragons as it eventually comes up to Krudikov. He takes a hit in the middle. Seletsky finds Lindholm, and that's going to be offside call. Seletsky's going to get called for unsportsmanlike conduct. Didn't like the offside call, and now he's going to be heading to the box. The Rattlers now on the power play. Nothing up on the clock, but Carlson finds it in the middle. Sends it towards Plotnikov, who just about has a goal on the backside of Brody Pritchard, but instead the Wasaga River Dragons are able to clear it here on this power play for the Bradford Rattlers. And we're getting a stoppage of play here as they try and figure out exactly what's going to be going on here. The penalty didn't go on the board, and I think that's what the Wasaga River Dragons are confused about. River Dragons with Bradford Rattlers captain Isak Carlson talking to the referee. And they do officially have the penalty up on the board now with 1:30 left in the power play for the Bradford Rattlers. So play was maintained how it should have been. The penalty was just not on the board, which created the confusion. Carlson, Debrecki, Plotnikov, Mamedov, and Munitz still the top power play unit on the ice for the Bradford Rattlers as they hope to get one on this power play and head into the second intermission with a lead here. Currently 4-4 with 2:11 left in the game, 1:30 left in the power play. Wasaga wins it and instantly sends it down towards Patrick Cullen, who's going to stop and leave it for Matvey Munitz. Munitz attempting to bring it himself. He's going to leave it for Isak Carlson. Carlson finds Munitz. Munitz is going to attempt to gain the zone. He sees Mamedov and does. Mamedov finds Carlson. Plotnikov working his way through the dots. Munitz sees Carlson. Carlson looking back towards Munitz possibly and does. Munitz now with an opportunity, sees Gabe Mamedov, who receives it on his backhand and has to regroup. Fires it off towards Carlson. Carlson still has Mamedov and finds him. Sends it towards Brody Pritchard. Not into the netting as Mamedov jumps up and brings it down. Plotnikov now with it behind the net. Plotnikov looking for an option. He's got Carlson there. Carlson has Debrecki in front of the net and Mamedov on the far side with Plotnikov down low. Sends it up to the top to Munitz. Mamedov there. Sends a shot. Brody Pritchard makes the save, sends it back up to Munitz. 30 seconds left remaining on this power play. Debrecki finds Carlson once more, a little give back. Carlson handling it behind the zone now. Plotnikov in front. Carlson looking for any option right now. Sends it over towards Mamedov. Mamedov puts it down low where Plotnikov will be waiting. He's got Munitz on the side. Munitz possibly looking towards Carlson. They got to be aware of the 3 seconds left on this power play. And Brody Pritchard covers it up. 40 seconds left in the second period as we have Seletsky out of the box and we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Wasaga River Dragons win the draw. They've got Seletsky all the way up the middle, who does receive the feed. Pressured hard by Boravsky, and eventuely Koch. Orahov now sees Serev. Serev in all alone on a breakaway. And Serev puts the Rattlers up 5-4 with 25 seconds left in the second period. just a great play there as Roman Orahav sends it all the way down the ice to Sergei Serev. Serev finishes it off with a breakaway opportunity all alone on Brody Pritchard. 5-4 for the Bradford Rattlers. 25 seconds left in the second period. Moyla and Debrecki. Munit's going to bring it up past the red line and into the zone. Isak Carlson going to pursue with Bolotov. As they do force a turnover in the offensive zone, Debrecki goes towards the net, but unable to get the puck towards him. And 2 seconds left. And at the end of the second period, the score is going to be the visiting Wasaga River Dragons 4, your Bradford Rattlers 5. 20 minutes left in this one, and we will see you guys after the second intermission. referees are back on the ice now as we get prep for this third period here in Bradford at the BWG Leisure Center between the visiting Wasaga River Dragons at 4 and the Bradford Rattlers with a narrow 1-goal lead currently at 5. 20 minutes left in this one. Both teams looking to come away with 2 points. River Dragons attempting to give the Rattlers their third loss to the River Dragons this season. Rattlers hoping to hand the River Dragons their second loss of the season and their first at their own hands. That top line of Molotov, Debrecki, Carlson, Munitz, and Ovakimian out on the ice. Rooney, Friedeke, and Stamen on the ice at the forwards for the Wasaga River Dragons. Friedeke wins the draw back eventually to Sanders from Lanama. Munitz is going to handle it and look for options right now on that fresh sheet of ice. Ovakimian from Munitz tries to send it towards Carlson, but it's going to be turned over by the Wasaga River Dragons as Friedeke attempting to get some offensive pressure and tie this game. Friedeke puts it into the corner where Bolotov's going to play it. Finds Carlson. Carlson loses it on that sticky ice, but finds it with a nifty move there to send it towards the wall. Munitz able to hold the zone there as the puck was lost for a second. Debrecki finds it on his stick and sends it up to Arsenio Vakimian. Gives it back to Debrecki, who puts it just high of Brody Pritchard. Munitz also tries to put a shot on net. Bolotov gets a shot on net, also saved by Brody Pritchard. Trio of shot attempts there, only one on net. Stamen puts it deep into the zone. Icing is waved off as Matvei Munitz was said to have had a chance to play it. Munitz is going to bring it behind the net as we get a change on for the forwards. Mamedov, Serev, and Plotnikov now on the ice. Serev brings it into the zone. He's got Plotnikov with him. Mamedov is the trailer. And the Wasaga River Dragons come the other way. Mamedov does, however, put it deep. Serev pressuring on number 22, Chenuai. And one of the equipments came undone during play. So we get a neutral zone face-off draw, Mamedov versus Olsen. Puck dropped and Mamedov wins it back to Orahov. Boravsky puts it in deep. He's going to have Serev pressuring with Mamedov in the middle. Plotnikov also there attempting to turn the puck over. Currently held possession by the Wasaga River Dragons. Chenuai brings it around the net and gets it out. But a puck goes off of Olsen. Puck comes back out. Boravsky has it in the neutral zone. Looking to send it deep or bring it in himself, but loses possession. River Dragons regroup behind their own net now. And a streaking Lindholm playing it with Patrick Cullen there. Ended up well, but could have been very dangerous for Patrick Cullen playing that with Max Lindholm right in front of him. Plotnikov trying to bring it in deep. Loses it, but it goes onto the stick to Serev, who eventually loses it back into the neutral zone himself. Serev going to bring it into the zone, and he does. Finds it into the corner, shovels it towards the net, but it goes off the back of the net and into the 6 of a Wasaga River Dragons forward. And a hand pass now being called. No change on the Bradford Rattlers because of it. Opportunity here for the Wasaga River Dragons to put something up with some tired Rattlers forwards on the ice. Mamedov, Serev, Plotnikov. With Berezin and Siran on the back end. They've got Camp, Sanders, Gulick, and Koch is going to come on for Mamedov. Rattlers win it back and Berezin sends it out of the zone successfully. Plotnikov makes a move. He's got Serev in the middle. He's got Koch with him as well. Koch is going to look to hold that in the zone and sends it back towards Sarev. Sarev brings it into the middle. Tries to get a shot off, patted away by Brody Pritchard. Attempts another shot, which is going to go just wide, influenced by the defenseman of the Wasaga River Dragons there. Plotnikov now trying to play it back, but Sanders is holding his own, keeping it strong. And a Rattlers penalty now coming. It's going to be high sticking on number 25, Mikhail Plotnikov. So Misha's going to head to the bench, and the River Dragons are going to head to the power play with a big opportunity to tie this game up at 5. I mean, it still can't go without mentioning, though, that Isak Karlsson and Adam Debrecki both have 5 shorthanded goals on the season. Debrecki with 1 in this game already, and that's who is the forward group for the Rattlers is, as the penalty killers. Ovakimian, Munitz, Debrecki, and Karlsson going up against Stamen, Chenowai, Seletsky, Olsen, and Friedeke. Olsen sends it towards the net, goes off the pad of Patrick Cullen. Debrecki tries to clear it, unable to, as Seletsky holds it, finds Stamen on the far side. Stamen gets it back up to Chenowai. Seletsky looking towards Stamen, who is wide open, but Olsen touches it up in the middle, and it goes into the back of the netting on the net. You gotta wonder if that puck gets to Elliot Stamen, if that's not in the back of the net in that opportunity. Olsen, however, touched it up and did have a good shot opportunity of his own right in the slot. Wasaga wins it back, and Chenowai holds the line, but Isak Karlsson able to get it out, so they're going to have to regroup and bring their players out of the offensive zone. Chenowai finds Seletsky. Seletsky to Olsen, and Olsen does tie it up at 5 here on the power play. Mikhail Plotnikov's going to come out, but that one's going to go just over the blocker side of Patrick Cullen. Pass from Seletsky to Olsen is going to tie this up at 5. Pair of power play goals in this game for the Wasaga River Dragons. Now has this knotted up at 5 with 16 minutes left. It's not about the last goal, it's going to be about the next goal right now. Who gets the next one? Is it the Wasaga River Dragons or the Bradford Rattlers? As the River Dragons send it deep with possession. Stopped by Patrick Cullen, who sends it towards Roman Orahov. Orahov puts it on the same wall with Kopech. Eventually to Boravsky. Boravsky's got Major Stick on the wall, and he's got Koch in the middle, streaking. Kopech does get it into the zone with Koch. Koch has Major Stick in the middle. Not sure if he sees him yet. Still attempting to play with possession here. But eventually Wasaga turns it over. Major Stick now towards the middle with possession. Friedeke has Stamen ahead of him. Boravsky with him. Orahov on Friedeke. Playing him tight, following him behind the net right now. Stamen all alone behind the net as we have chasers. Boravsky now going to handle it behind the net with Rooney on him. Rooney just about forces a turnover there. Kopech sees Holander, who's unable to handle the puck. Olsen now looking for another goal here. He's got the game-tying goal. Will he have the go-ahead goal in this one? As Kalinke holds the line and sends it back deep behind Patrick Cullen. Orahov eventually comes away with it, sends it towards the middle, where Samarovsky was able to touch it up, so icing is waved off. Chenowai playing it behind the net. Samarovsky with some pressure. Chenowai now bringing it up all on his own. He's got Lindholm on the far side. Seletsky as the trailer. And Chenowai sends it into the chest of Patrick Cullen. 14:37 left in this third period. Mamedov, Sarev, and Plotnikov now come onto the ice for the Bradford Rattlers. Berezin and Siran on the back end. Olsen, Lindholm, Seletsky still on the ice with Chenowai and Lanama. Sarev and Siran go into each other, but Mamedov is able to come up with possession and sends it deep. Sarev gets tied up on the wall there and is unable, but Plotnikov with a great force into the turnover. That was a great chance for Sarev, but the defensive play of the River Dragons stops it from being an actual opportunity. Lindholm and Olsen. Mamedov with a great play there to break up what could have been a 2-on-1 opportunity and a great chance to get the go-ahead goal for the River Dragons. Mamedov sees Serev. Serev gives it back to Mamedov, who gains the red line. He's got Plotnikov with him. Serev attempts to toe drag it through. Plotnikov finds Mamedov once again. Serev also down low, impacting the play. Siren not going to jump up there, which is wise, as now we have Camp and Rickabaugh coming in deep for the Wasaga River Dragons. Camp sends it off the post. Rickabaugh plays it in the corner. Sends it towards the slot. It's going to be held in the zone by Cole. Eventually, Plotnikov sends it towards the middle to Debrecki. Debrecki with Serev. Bolotov also on the ice, waiting for their partner in crime, Isak Karlsson, who will be making the change when Serev can. And the play is going to be called dead in these skates. So Isak Karlsson going to finish off this change. We also have Stammen, Friedeke, and Rooney, the top line for the River Dragons, coming out right now. Lunama and Chenowai. Munitz and Ovakimian on the ice with that top line for the Rattlers. Debrecki loses the draw. Lunama comes up with it. Karlsson pressuring. And so Debrecki eventually ends up with hit on his stick. Stammen sends it towards the middle. Bolotov gets a stick on it. So a non-clean breakout there as Munitz now brings it into the zone, drops it off for Debrecki. Munitz forcing deep in the zone. Bolotov playing on that back end spot right now. Bolotov gets the switch up as Debrecki comes to the top. Debrecki sends one into the shin pads of Rooney with a great block. Friedeke, Debrecki, Rooney all right there on the puck. And there is going to be a call here. Looks like it's going to be interference on the Rattlers captain, Isak Karlsson. So the River Dragons heading to the power play, this time with a chance for the go-ahead goal. Rooney not happy with what's happening, attempts to go to the box to have some words with Isak Karlsson. The power play on the ice for the Wasaga River Dragons. We have Olsen, Stammen, Seletsky, Friedeke, and Chenowai. Penalty killers, we have David Majorsik and Gabe Mamedov. On the ice with Boravsky and Orahov. Orahov tries to get it and sends it down the zone. Great opportunity there. David Majorsik pressuring hard right here. Pritchard was unaware Majorsik was there. Nearly turns it over with an opportunity. Majorsik still pressuring hard here in this offensive zone. Trying to take as much time off of this power play as possible before the River Dragons eventually gain the offensive zone. Mamedov with a nice stick check there on Chenowai. Mamedov still pressuring. No call there. And we are getting an interference call on the River Dragons now. Can't tell who. Oh, it looks like it could have been interference on number 33, Brody Pritchard, actually, on the goaltender. So they're going to have to send somebody from the ice to go serve that penalty. And it's going to be number 9, Seletsky. Been a difference maker so far tonight. Had the assist on the game-tying goal to Olsen. And now he'll be serving 2 minutes for Brody Pritchard, who got called for interference. Not goalie interference, but interference on the goalie. Debrecki loses that draw. Lunama looking to kill some time here as we are 4-on-4 for at least a minute 17. Goals will not negate either one of these penalties right now. Bolotov forces the turnover, finds Arsenio Vakimian, Stammen on him. Arseni sends it to the middle where Munitz is waiting. Munitz unable to get a shot towards the net on Brody Pritchard. Debrecki with a nice pass towards Munitz. Munitz once again unable to get a shot with some nice defensive play by the Wasaga River Dragons, who now look to turn it the other way on this 4-on-4 opportunity. Arsenio Vakimian, Matvei Munitz, Friedeke works his way all alone, and A puck that could have rolled into the back of the net there if not for Patrick Cullen being so aware and finding it eventually. Stamen and Ovakimian having some words there. Possibly making a dinner reservation for after the game. As Plotnikov and Mamedov, the forward group on this 4-on-4 with Boravsky and Orahov. We have Chenowai with Olsen and Sanders. Puck played deep in the corner, Olsen pressuring. Orahov comes away with it. He's probably looking for Plotnikov, drops it back towards Mamedov, who is going to skate the entire length of the ice and gain the zone. Mamedov brings it in, sends it off of Brody Pritchard, who's able to corral it and get a stoppage of play. 19 seconds left on the penalty for Isak Karlsson. 54 seconds left on Pritchard's penalty being served by Seletsky. You got to assume that they're going to set it up to have Debrecki join his line mates, or at least a version of the power play. Debrecki, Plotnikov, Boravsky, and Munitz on the ice. Karlsson about to join them in 18 seconds. As Munitz holding possession there for now. Plotnikov looking to get involved. Neither team able to move it successfully right now. Eventually Friedeke does. Boravsky with a brave play and comes up with it. Sends it the other way for Debrecki. Karlsson out of the box now. Plotnikov, Debrecki inside. Debrecki sends it just high, but they do have a power play opportunity now. As Friedeke once again, his fingerprints all over this game for the Wasaga River Dragons. Isak Karlsson now 17 seconds left on this power play. He's going to look to regroup. Got to keep an eye on the box and what's happening there. Plotnikov out here as well. Karlsson with a nice move to gain the zone. He's got Plotnikov on the far side. Sends it just wide of the net. Debrecki holds it and finds Orahov in the middle. Orahov towards the net off the pads of Brody Pritchard. Debrecki once again finds the rebound. And the Wasaga River Dragons are going to have a chance to come the other way with this. Send it into the middle where Isak Karlsson lets his defenseman regroup. Orahov to Ovakimian. Arsenyi's going to gain the zone himself. He's got a shot opportunity and takes it on Brody Pritchard. Nine minutes, 39 seconds left in this third period. We are tied at 5. Koch on the draw, tries to win it forward. Wasaga comes away with it, but Majorsic gets it on his stick. Kopech now in the middle. Olsen and Gulick now the other way. Gulick with a pass just off the skate of his teammate. So Koch now moving it forward. Sends it into the glove of Brody Pritchard, who traps that up, and we're going to get another offensive zone drop. Sanders and Koch bump each other there. Koch goes down, no call on the ice. Koch now with a face-off here against Olsen. Won by Koch, who gets it to Kopech. Kopech gets a shot off, and once again into the glove of Brody Pritchard. Friedeke, Rooney, and Stamen on the ice for the Dragons. Bolotov, Karlsson, and Debrecki match them as each team's top line back out here with 9:16 left in the third period. Debrecki on the draw against Friedeke. Debrecki wins it to Karlsson. Karlsson to Ovakimian. Back to Karlsson. Karlsson attempts to put it towards the net, and we are going to get a call here on the Wasaga River Dragons as the arm is up. Patrick Cullen to the bench. Extra skater is out. That's Game Mamedov. Debrecki puts it down low for Isak Karlsson. And it does get touched up by the River Dragons as the Rattlers will now head to the power play with just under 9 minutes left in the third period. So Plotnikov going to come on for Arsenio Vakimian. Debrecki, Plotnikov, Mamedov, Carlson, and Munitz now all on the ice, the top power play unit for the Bradford Rattlers. No changes for the Wasaga River Dragons as they keep Friedeke on. Carlson sees Munitz, who fires a shot that's patted away by Brody Pritchard. Sent all the way down the ice. Cullen's going to play it. He's got Stahman on him. Carefully leaves it for Matvei Munitz to come the other way, attempting to gain the red line and bring it in, and he does with speed so he can collect this. He's got Mamedov with him, who eventually finds it on his stick. Mamedov sends it back down low now to Mikhail Plotnikov. Plotnikov to Debrecki. Debrecki sees Munitz up at the point. Carlson to Mamedov. Mamedov sends it in. Saved by Pritchard, who originally lets a rebound down and then covers it himself. 1:23 left on this power play. Penalty was taken by Chenowai. That's Liam Chenowai on the Wasaga River Dragons. 1:23 left with him in the box. Debrecki loses the draw. Sanders attempts to send it all the way back, but Munitz is going to be standing there. Stahman working his best, but Debrecki able to hold it as well. Munitz now with time and space. Sends it down low for Plotnikov. Plotnikov has Debrecki with him. Sends it to Debrecki. Debrecki finds Munitz at the point and is not able to hold the line, so the Rattlers are going to have to regroup here. Munitz comes all the way back. Carlson with him. Munitz is looking to break into the zone and does. Mamedov with him, but Munitz brings it all the way himself. Hard hit there, but possession still with Munitz. Plotnikov finds Munitz once more. Debrecki now at the point. Debrecki sees Munitz, who fans on a shot. Mamedov finds the rebound and sends it towards Pritchard, unable to get it through. Plotnikov now with the possession back behind the net once more. Debrecki with him, Munitz with him at the point. He finds Munitz. Munitz sees Debrecki. Debrecki walking in. Looks for Carlson, who had a wide open shot, but a great defensive play there by Friedeke. Carlson now walking in and just puts a shot high. Carlson once again takes a feed from Debrecki. Carlson right there. Plotnikov attempts to go between the legs. Carlson with a rebound opportunity, unable to send it. As Friedeke eventually puts it all the way down, Patrick Cullen playing it himself. Debrecki comes back. Sarev now on the ice as this power play is over. We are back to 5-on-5, just under 7 minutes remaining in the third period. Boravsky gains the zone. Sends it towards Pritchard, who covers it up. Gotta wonder if in a 5-5 game, a tie game here, if Boravsky is going to be maintaining that offensive style of play from the back end as he has been. Koch, Bolotov, and Sarev the line now as Mamedov and Carlson and Plotnikov were all on the ice, so they're having to mismatch just a little bit here based on that power play opportunity. Koch versus Olsen on the draw. Olsen wins it back to Chenowai. Sarev saves it though at the half wall. Bolotov with some extreme pressure there eventually finds it. Boravsky knocks it down and finds Orahov. Not touched by Koch, and that's going to be an icing call on the Rattlers. Koch once again on the draw. Once again on the draw, this time against Friedeke. Rooney, Friedeke, and Stahman, that top line for the River Dragons, back out right now. Friedeke wins it back into the feet of Stahman is where the puck ends up. And so the Rattlers are going to attempt to clear this zone. Bolotov with some high energy play at the top of the zone manages to keep it out, so the River Dragons are going to have to regroup. Kalinke sends it deep, can be played by Cullen, who leaves it for Roman Orahov. Orahov has Koch on the wall and he sends it to him. Koch sees it. He's got Bolotov all alone. Offside was called. Neither player could touch it for the Rattlers, Bolotov or Plotnikov there. Stahman now regroups in the neutral zone, attempting to bring it in himself, and he does. But Bolotov with a stick on it. Sends it towards Plotnikov. Plotnikov finds Koch. Boravsky now up on the rough rush with him. Plotnikov with a turnover forced on the half wall. Brings it all the way behind the net. He's got Borovsky up top. Borovsky unable to handle it cleanly, so he's going to put it back to Plotnikov, who looks all the way across the ice for Isak Karlsson. Karlsson and Plotnikov now. Karlsson with a shot. Puts it just high of Brody Pritchard. Shot attempt, but not a shot. Tied up on the wall now. A couple of Rattlers in there. River Dragons eventually send it all the way down the ice. Icing is on and waved off. Ovak Kimian playing it behind the net now. He's got Karlsson all the way up there. Plotnikov in the middle, streaking. Karlsson looks for Plotnikov, just out of his reach though, but Plotnikov eventually is able to regroup with the puck. He's got Arseny Ovak Kimian. Kimian takes a few steps in. Karlsson turns it around. He's got Siren, he's got Ovak Kimian with him. Gives it to Siren. Siren sends it towards the net, and it's one of the bodies in front of the net blocked that. Plotnikov was the screener in front of the net there. Now the River Dragons and Rattlers are pushing each other all over the ice right now. As Pritchard was inside the net, Plotnikov was sent down to the ice in front of Pritchard. Still 5-5 left in this one. 4:35 left in the third period. If you remember, just last week, the Rattlers were in a tie game close and ended up winning it with 2 seconds left in the game. Will one of these teams, the River Dragons or the Rattlers, come up with some last-second magic, or is somebody going to get one a little bit quicker and allow for an opportunity for the other team to come back? Top line out for the River Dragons once more. Friedeke, Rooney, Stamen with Chenowai and Sanders. Mamedov out there with Serev, Munitz, Ovak Kimian and Majorsik. Munitz sends it off the blocker of Brody Pritchard. Majorsik down on the ice now. Serev still pressuring the puck hard. Majorsik gets a stick on it now. As eventually Rooney sends it deep after he gains the line. Ovak Kimian unable to play it cleanly, which is going to allow Stamen an opportunity in the zone. Eventually, a shot on Patrick Cullen by number 21, Friedeke. Serev sends it in the neutral zone. River Dragons come up with it once more. Rattlers now switch possession. Stamen now with an opportunity by himself and puts one just past the corner of Patrick Cullen. Stamen still by himself down low. Now being pressured by Bolotov, who makes a pass up to Serev. Serev waiting for any of his teammates, instead brings it back out into the neutral zone. Roman Orahov looking for an option here. Sends it to the stick of Stamen, who forces the turnover. Stamen also looking for his own options. Lindholm now on the wing, sends it towards Patrick Cullen, who blockers it into the corner. Orahov sees Karlsson. Karlsson unable to handle it cleanly, so now Orahov's going to bring it out of the zone. Debrecki, Karlsson, Bolotov all here. Debrecki still with possession. Siren going to be joining over there on the far side as that defenseman. Orahov gets it knocked out of his. Bolotov trying to play hard on it. Seletsky leaves it into the middle. Who comes up with it here? Isak Karlsson tried, but it looks like Kalinke is going to come up with it instead. Sends it towards Seletsky. Karlsson now with an opportunity with Debrecki. 2-on-2 here. Karlsson brings it around the net. Sends it all the way over to Plotnikov. Saved by Pritchard, but rebound back to Plotnikov. Plotnikov puts it back in front. Debrecki unable to get a stick on it. Borovsky has to back up and try and make a defensive play. Siren on Lindholm here. Lindholm with a clean shot towards Patrick Cullen. 2:38 left in the third period. We're still tied at 5. Koch on Rooney here in this offensive zone draw for the River Dragons, a very important one. Koch was tied up by Rooney. The River Dragons do have control of the puck here. Chenowai sends it off of Borovsky. Majorsik now working towards on Friedeke. Friedeke has possession. Stick there by Koch. Makes it Wasaga, clean shot, unable to happen. Carlson and Mamedov now out there with Koch. Ovakimian and Munitz on the ice for the D. Friedeke, Chenowai, Sanders, Rooney, and Stamen all on the ice for the River Dragons as both teams hoping to get that go-ahead goal here late in the third period. Rooney with a great hold on the wall. Munitz now sends it off the boards. And it looks like it went off one of the waiting sticks of the Rattlers bench players, so it's going to be an offensive zone draw and no change for the Rattlers. Never mind, change is made. Just an offensive zone draw for the River Dragons. Debrecki, Bolotov, Carlson. Debrecki attempts to win it forward, then sends it back to Ovakimian, who brings it around the net, being pressured by Friedeke. Carlson out of his reach, but it comes out of the zone. River Dragons will have to regroup. Just under 2 minutes left in this third period. Chenowai being pressured hard by Bolotov, who possibly forces him to cough up the puck there. Comes onto the stick of Friedeke for a second, but loses it. Arseni Ovakimian now looking to stretch it to one of his players. Gulick eventually makes the stop in the neutral zone and sends it back to his own defenseman. Carlson on him. Manama sends it deep. Cullen handling it now. Carlson keeping it on the wall as we approach the last minute here in the third period. Matvey Munitz sends it along the boards. Ice is called. So offensive zone draw for the Wasaga River Dragons. They are also able to make a change here. Carlson, Debrecki, Bolotov, Munitz, and Ovakimian. And no change for the Wasaga River Dragons as they keep Hallett, Olsen, and Gulick out there with Kalinke and Chenowai on the back end. 1 minute 15 left in the third period. Draw one back to the River Dragons. Eventually, Ovakimian finds it, sends it towards Carlson, unable to bring it into the zone with him. Olsen being pressured hard right at the line by Debrecki, and that's going to be whistled down. Rattlers now able to make a change. And the River Dragons also send out their top unit. So Mamedov, Plotnikov, Serev against Friedeke, Rooney, Stamen. Exactly 1 minute left in this third period here as it comes towards the offensive-minded Boravsky, who sends it deep. Serev is there. Mamedov playing hard behind the net, but instead gets caught behind the net as number 22, Chenowai, brings it all the way down. Boravsky attempts to play on him, maintains possession. Stamen sends it back up to the hot top, but unable to be handled cleanly by Friedeke. So Pritchard now playing it and makes a smart decision to just send it over. Touched up by Stamen. Orahov has a chance to play on it right now. Mamedov does not touch it. Plotnikov with a play on Sanders. Sanders sends it right to the stick of Roman Orahov, who flips it up into the defensive zone. Playing a little tic-tac-toe right now. Stamen puts it off the skates of number 25, Misha Plotnikov. Orahov finds Boravsky. Banama finds Friedeke. Friedeke with a shot that had eyes on Cullen, and Cullen makes that save as we are headed to overtime, tied at 5. Both teams will regroup for a second before we come out for this overtime period. Both teams are going away with a point in this game. Who's taking home 2 points? River Dragons hoping to do it for a third time in 3 games against the Rattlers this season. Rattlers hoping to get their first win against the River Dragons since the North Division Finals last year, Game 6. Cullen and Pritchard head back to their respective nets. Not sure if we are going to be switching sides. They are switching sides, yeah. So 3-on-3 hockey here. Cullen and Pritchard switch sides. DeBrecki, Carlson, Munitz on the ice. Chenowai, Olsen, and Stahman on the ice for the River Dragons. 5 minutes here in overtime. If it's not decided then we'll be heading to a shootout. And you got to think that Coach David Mooney likes his odds here with DeBrecki and Carlson out on the ice. Players who have been known to create offensive opportunity with lots of space on the ice. Olsen wins the draw to the side and kicks it back eventually to Chenowai. DeBrecki is the pressuring forward right now. Munitz on the back end. Carlson got that wing covered. Stahman brings it around to the far side. He's going to be picked up by Carlson. DeBrecki's going to stay up top with Chenowai. Chenowai and DeBrecki. Carlson now finds the puck, kicks it down, unable to make that stretch pass to DeBrecki. Instead, he's going to regroup for a second and look to bring it himself. Lots of space here. Friedeke and Seletsky now on the ice. Carlson brings it in. No call on that. Carlson goes down, but no call on that. No trip. Carlson finds it. Sends it towards Munitz. Munitz, lots of space here. Sends it over towards the Rattlers captain, Carlson, who walks towards the middle. Finds DeBrecki. DeBrecki also circles back. Brings it out of the zone. So Matvei Munitz is now going to have to regroup. Carlson going to look to go into the zone with speed here. Gains it. Has DeBrecki in front of him. Has Munitz behind him. Instead looks to bring it himself into the middle. No play there for Carlson. Carlson does, however, force a turnover in the offensive zone. He's got DeBrecki with him also. Shot that gets deflected by the Wasaga River Dragons and into the netting. Mamedov and Plotnikov now on the ice with Dominikas Borabsky. Mamedov against Bruni right now on the draw. Mamedov, the 4-year junior veteran, wins that draw back. Plotnikov has it. Plotnikov drives the net after he drops it off to Mamedov. Mamedov looking to create some space himself. Does. Gets a shot off. It goes just high of Brody Pritchard. Borabsky gets brought down. Still no call on the ice here. Mamedov eventually comes up with it. Looks towards the net where Borabsky's posted in front. Brings it to the middle in front. Plotnikov now in the middle. Borabsky handling it at the point. Makes a little spin move there. Leaves it for Mamedov. Mamedov now at the high zone. Sends it down towards Plotnikov. Mamedov goes towards the net. Plotnikov brings it into the middle. River Dragons with an opportunity here. Patrick Cullen with a save on that breakaway opportunity. A couple of Rattlers players got into each other, creating a scary opportunity for Patrick Cullen as he had to face that shot all alone. Comes away with the save as he has many times tonight. Both him and Brody Pritchard, despite the 5-5 score, making many saves as we are 2:43 left in overtime. Friedeke wins it back to Chenowai. Chenowai gets it over to Stahman as the River Dragons now look to have some pressure. Turnover there. Orahov finds Serev. Serev working his way to the middle, possibly looking for a shot. He's got Bolotov with him. Bolotov now tries to find Serev, who chops at it. But Pritchard's going to cover it up for the whistle. 2:20 left here in overtime. DeBrecki and Carlson back out on the ice now with Munitz for the Bradford Rattlers. 2:20 left here in overtime. Lunama now onto the ice for the River Dragons, as Chenuai is going to go catch some wind. Stammen, Friedeke, Lunama, Debrecki, Carlson, Munitz, 3-on-3 action here in overtime. Munitz gets the draw, one back to him. He's just going to take his time, maintain this zone right now, bring it in deep. Brings it all the way to the middle with an opportunity for a shot there, not able to get it off. As the turnover eventually lands on the stick of Friedeke as they look to have something coming the other way. Stammen now, bringing it out from behind his own net. Still Friedeke with him, Chenuai. We've got a little bit of air, is back on the ice now. The most trusted defenseman clearly on the ice for the Wasaga River Dragons. Stammen brings it back out of the zone. Minute and a half left in overtime. Stammen leaves it for Chenuai. Stammen gets a change as we have Seletsky now on the ice. Chenuai and Friedeke. Friedeke is going to go to the net as well, or going to go to the bench as well. Seletsky with Carlson out there. Munitz able to force the turnover. Seletsky still playing very, very hard on him though. We've got a wide open Rooney all in front. And Patrick Cullen makes a massive save on a wide open Rooney in front of the net. Rooney and Carlson getting into it there after the whistle has gone. No penalties coming. Neither player heading off. 53 seconds left in overtime before we go to a shootout. Shootouts maybe seeing the same type of shots that Patrick Cullen just saw all alone by Rooney. Makes that incredible save. Mamedov wins the drawback, handled by Boravsky. Boravsky being pressured hard by Seletsky. Boravsky attempting to bring it all the way. Plotnikov can't touch it as it's offside. 38 seconds left. As Rooney once again finds himself with the puck in the offensive zone, Boravsky makes a great defensive play. He's got Plotnikov all the way in the middle. He's got Mamedov on his side. Gives it to Mamedov, who comes into the zone with speed. Mamedov and Chenuai. Save made by Pritchard. 22 seconds left in overtime. Carlson wins the drawback to Boravsky. Debrecki also on the ice. Carlson now with an opportunity to skate towards the net. Sends a shot, but it's just wide on the short side against Pritchard. Carlson now 7 seconds left. He knows what time is left. Attempting to get a shot. And it's going to be saved by Pritchard and sent behind the net. And fans, what a game we have for you guys tonight. We are heading towards a shootout. Referees are now going to be going over to each bench and getting the name of their shooters. I believe they will be choosing 5 shooters before they can start repeating names. Although if there is a difference in the goal score after 3 shooters, that will be the deciding factor in the game. Got to assume Stammen, Friedeke, Olsen all going to be on that opportunity. Rooney all on that top 5 list. Debrecki, Carlson, Serev, Mamedov. And Adam Debrecki, one of the younger players on the Rattlers roster, second leading scorer on the team, is going to be the first to have a shot at Brody Pritchard on the other end. Debrecki scored 15 times now this season in 10 games. And he's going to have the first opportunity here on Brody Pritchard. Debrecki now being called off the ice as the Wasaga River Dragons will have first shot as the home team. Much like in baseball, Rattlers will have the last opportunity to score. And so we have Elliot Stahman, the leading scorer, goal scorer and point scorer for the Wasaga River Dragons. Coming into this game with 9 goals and 16 points, he brings it in on Patrick Cullen. Fellow Swede Patrick Cullen, Stahman sends it off the post. Patrick Cullen's going to be thanking his post on that one, as now we finally do get to see Adam Debrecki come out on the ice with the first opportunity on Brody Pritchard. Debrecki, the Chechen-born forward, brings it in nice and slow and wide. Looks to get a shot off on Pritchard, sends it right into his pads, and Pritchard makes that easy save. Like predicted, the next man up is the second leading scorer, tied. Coming into this game with 7 goals is Victor Friedeke, tied with Graham Rooney with 7, and he's going to get the second opportunity on Patrick Cullen. Friedeke comes in with some speed, comes in on the right side on his forehand, attempting to put it in on Patrick Cullen, who shuts the door. Second shooter for the Bradford Rattlers, Isak Carlson. Carlson, who currently is second all-time on the Bradford Rattlers goal list with 85 goals in 65 games so far for the Rattlers organization. 2 players tied with 86. Carlson coming in with speed on Pritchard, looking to get a shot off, and he does! Isak Carlson goes in, and the third shooter is going to be Gulick. Ilya Gulick. 4 games, 2 goals so far this season. If Patrick Cullen can shut the door on Gulick, that's going to be the first win of the season for the Rattlers against the River Dragons. Gulick comes in, number 91 Gulick on number 1 Cullen. Makes a move, and that is a win for the Bradford Rattlers. Patrick Cullen shuts the door on all 3 Wasaga River Dragons shooters, and the Bradford Rattlers celebrate in front of the Wasaga River Dragons bench. And that is officially going to be credited as Isak Carlson's 86th goal, which puts him in a tie, a 3-way tie for first all-time in the Bradford Rattlers organization. As the Rattlers celebrate on the ice, just like in the playoffs last season, the River Dragons took the first 2 games of the series this season in the regular season. The Rattlers now have that 3rd game. They say that every season is a story. My name's JR for the Bradford Rattlers. We now close the chapter on this one.